Hey Vish, this is Chris. I just wanted to say hi and before we get into the video, but ultimately you are my first professional video and I wanted to do this with you because I feel like I can make mistakes in front of you. But long story short, part of my being a teacher is to make some instructional videos that you'll find on YouTube. And this is what it might look like. You're going to see an introduction video and you're going to see me kind of diving into the instruction. So basically, this is why it took so long. I got the proper setup. I might do some light because it looks like it's a little bit dark on this side, but ultimately it doesn't matter because I got to get the content out. So long story short, here's the video. Hope you enjoy. This is going to be some kind of setups with some of the questions you had. All right. One of the first questions you had was, what is the proper way to hold a guitar pick? I'm going to show you the fundamentals, but really it's up to you and how you want to hold it. Again, kind of what I always say, as long as you're playing the song, as long as you're playing the chord, however you're holding it is right. But let's talk about the fundamentals, okay? So I'm going to show you a closer up version of this, but ultimately what I do is I put my finger like this, I put my index finger close together like this, and imagine, if you will, here's the guitar, right? I'm going to take this hand, and I'm going to bring it in like this. I'm going to bring my hand in to play guitar like this. So ultimately, the guitar pick has to aim at the guitar. So with that being said, I'm going to put the guitar pick here and put my thumb over it. So this is what it's going to look like. You need about 1/3 of the guitar pick sticking out from underneath your thumb. I'm going to cut to a video of my showing you this up close, but ultimately this is it. So push your fingers together, put the guitar pick on that finger and clamp it with your thumb. And that way you have about 1/3 of the guitar pick sticking out from your hand. When you do that, okay, I put my fingers out like this. The reason I do that is because I like having my 3 fingers touching the guitar really at any time. Okay, just because I want to know where my guitar is. Oftentimes, I'm going to put the back of my hand up against the bridge because again, I'm going to know right where I'm at on the guitar strings. The reason that's important is because you're going to find people who want to make sure that they have the guitar pick in the right spot for a C chord. This is the chord we're going to play. They want to make sure that they have their pick in the right spot on the A string, and they want to make sure that they have their C chord down before they strum. There's a lot of thinking happening before you even play a sound, okay? So what I do is I get a feel of my guitar by putting my fingers on the body and the back of my hand on the bridge right here, and that's what I know without looking. Right? I know where the strings are in comparison to where my hand starts. Hopefully, the reason that's important is because if you ever decide you want to sing, it's going to be hard to kind of figure out, okay, here's where I play it, there's the chord. It's going to be hard to do that. So if you get a feel for where the hand is on the strumming, on the rhythm part of your guitar, it's going to make it a lot easier to play. This is why I hold my fingers out. You may decide to do it, to bring your fingers in and make kind of a fist. That's okay too. Just as good. The point is, play. Make sure your guitar pick is in proper form. Make sure you know where your strings are, and then just play. That's proper. Now, one of the things I'm going to say is, don't worry about squeezing the guitar pick too hard. If you do that, you're going to find that there's no give, and your hand still wants to play the chord. So when there's no give, it's going to play the guitar strings harder, which isn't going to sound good. You want to have a nice balance between having a grip on the guitar pick but not strangling the guitar pick. Your guitar pick is gonna fall out on occasion, and that's okay. Okay? If it falls out, improvise, make it happen. Okay? It's gonna happen. Now I gotta pick up my guitar pick. All right, now. So to kind of sum that up, okay, make sure that you put your pointer finger, your index finger curled up like this. Put your guitar pick right about there, making sure the guitar pick aims towards the guitar. Put your thumb over it, squeeze, not too loose, definitely not too hard, right in the middle, okay? And then pick it, whether or not you want to do your fingers out and feel where the guitar is, or whether or not you want to have your hand in a grip, okay? Just pick it. And then, I promise you, the more and more you play, the easier it's going to come to you. So the biggest takeaway from this is definitely play as much as you can. Don't hit it hard. Don't hit the bar chord hard. Just strum it. Hopefully that makes sense, okay? All right, now we're going to talk about how to even hold your guitar, okay? This one's really important, okay? Because sometimes what happens is sometimes people will play the guitar and they'll rest their elbow on their leg. There's nothing wrong with that, you know, intrinsically, but the it's going to hamper, it's going to dampen your mobility. So you're not going to be able to get down the guitar neck up and down. You're going to be stuck here because you're going to be leaning on your elbow, and it's going to limit your guitar playing. So always you want to stand up as straight as you can. You may curl over the guitar, whatever it may be. The bottom line is don't let your elbows hit your legs, okay? Also, when you're playing with a chair, try to find a chair that doesn't have an arm. Especially for you beginner guitar players, try to find a guitar, gosh darn it. No. Try to find a seat that doesn't have a chair armrest like this, okay? Because it's going to get in the way. Definitely on your fretting hand, you don't want to have an armrest on that side as well. One of my favorite chairs, I'll show it to you. It's this one right here. I sit down. I have no armrest at all. Consequently, I have no backrest, which is fine. But there's no armrest here, so there's nothing getting in the way. Okay, so you're sitting down. You're ready to pick up the guitar. One of the things you want to do, this is especially for the beginner guitar players, is you want to make sure that one leg is higher than the other, okay? Eventually, when you become more comfortable with the guitar, it's not going to matter because you're going to know how to play. But if you're starting out and chord placement is important, you're going to want to have your one leg higher than the other. So what I do is I find something that has a little bit of height to it. This is a little iPhone box. So I'm going to put this down on the ground and put my foot on it. Okay? Automatically, my leg is higher than the other. When I do that, and I put my guitar on top, I can't put my elbow down unless I'm trying to play incorrectly. So you're up like this and you're ready to play. Okay? So most important job here, most important thing is stand up or sit up straight and get a little thing to add some height to your foot. Okay? And put your foot up there, put your guitar down. Also, what's very important is I find a lot of people do this, is they slide the guitar over like this to an angle so that they can see the fretboard. I get it. That makes a lot of sense, but it's a bad habit. So with that being said, make sure that you bring the guitar into your body, okay? Bring your hand over. You get your foot sitting on some height. You have the guitar, the groove right here sitting on your leg. And you're ready to look at your guitar and play. Now, I also see some people who bring their elbow over to play guitar. Okay? I get it. Another thing, I get it. I also see some people who play back here. I think Johnny Cash played like this too. I'm not here to talk trash on Johnny, but this is also a bad habit. What I do, what works for me, my suggestion, find something that works for you, is you got the fold of your arm right here. I put the fold of my arm on the edge of the guitar. And when I do that, my hand is right around where the strings should be. So if my hands are right around where the strings should be, I have the guitar pick placement in proper form, and I have my fingers down. I'm ready to play. Make sense? If it doesn't, let me know. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about theory. There's a lot we can discuss, okay? But what I want to do is give you little bite-sized chunks of some theory that we can move on and then learn more and then learn more and then learn more. For now, one of the things I really want you to focus on is going to be the naming of the notes on the strings, okay? And knowing how to play bar chords, power chords, and open chords, okay? Hugely important. Once you know the names of the strings on the names of the notes on the neck, your whole entire guitar neck is going to open up to possibilities, which is kind of fun. And then we're also going to talk about rhythm, real simple rhythm, okay? So let's get into it. Go. Okay, first and foremost, let's talk about the names of the strings, names of the notes on the. Okay, first and foremost, let's talk about the names of the notes on the string, okay? So obviously we know open E. The most important thing I can tell you are that E and F, as well as B and C, have no sharps or flats, okay? Everything else has a sharp and a flat. So if two notes have a sharp and a flat, that means it's one full step away from the other. So for instance, this is a G right here. This is a G, and this is an A. That's not E or F, and that's not B or C. Therefore, it has a sharp and a flat in the middle of it. So that's G, A. So it's 2 frets away. So here's your root. 2 frets away, that's 1 full step. Okay? If you're at B, to get to the C, remember, B and C, there's no sharps or flats. All you have to do is go up 1 fret. So since you're going up 1 fret, that's a half step. Okay? So G to A, a full step. B to C, a half step. Say that again. G to A, full step. B to C, half step. Okay? So a full step is 2 frets from the root. A half step is the next fret. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, let me know. So if E and F have no sharps or flats, they must be a half step up. If B and C have no sharps or flats, they must be a half step up. Everything else is a full step. So with that being said, here I am on the E string, okay? E, no sharps or flats, so F, half step. F, F sharp or G flat. Before we go any further, let me tell you this one last part. A nice little reminder, shortcut if you will, is everything towards the guitar is a sharp. Everything going towards the head of the guitar is a flat. So, E, F, F towards the guitar, that's an F sharp or a G flat. So, F sharp or G flat, G. G, G sharp or A flat, A. A sharp or B flat, B. There's no sharps or flats in between B and C, so it's just B, half step up, C. From C, C sharp or D flat, D. That's another full step. D, D sharp or E flat, E. Now let's go to A. A sharp or B flat, B, B, there's no sharps or flats, C, C, C sharp or D flat, D, D, D sharp or E flat, E, E, F, F, F sharp or G flat, G, G, G sharp or A flat, A. So you sort of get the pattern. It is hugely important that you memorize that as much as you can. Since you know the pattern, let's go through everything else really, really quickly, okay? So we did E, we did A, let's talk about D. D, D sharp, E flat, E, E, F, F, F sharp or G flat, G, G, G sharp or A flat, A sharp or B flat, B, A, C, C, C sharp or D flat, D. Got it? Okay, a little bit faster. G, G, G sharp or A flat, A sharp or B flat, B, okay, B is C, C, C sharp or D flat, D, D, D sharp or E flat, E, E and F, F, F sharp or G flat, G, G is right there, okay? Then you got B, A, B, C, remember B and C. So automatically we're gonna go half step. So B, C, C sharp, D flat, D, D, D sharp or E flat, E, E, E sharp E, my mistake, E, F, okay? F, F sharp or G flat, G, G, G sharp or A flat, A sharp or B flat, B. And we already did E up here, so it's the same thing down here. E, F, F sharp or G flat, G, G, G sharp or A flat, A sharp or B flat, B, B and C, C, C sharp or D flat, D, D, D sharp or E flat, E. So, let's talk about why that's so important. Take, for instance, dead flowers. Okay, D, A, and G. Back to D. Okay, so before we get into the next part, let's talk about a bar chord. So remember, the bar chord is essentially the E just up the neck, okay? So think about the E. You've got the 1, remember 1, 2, 3, and 4. You got the 1 on the G string first fret. You got the 2 on the A string second fret, and you got the 3 on the D string second fret. There's your E. Another way of playing an E is like this. Put your 2 finger on the G string first fret, your 3rd finger on the A string second fret, and your 4th finger on the your 4th finger on the D string second fret. Now you still have an E. So this part right here, this is called the nut. Still don't know why, but this is called the nut. This is also your finger. Think about that for a second. It's going to make sense here in a minute. So you have an E, okay? You bring it up a set of frets, and you bring this down. Now your finger is serving as this nut. Now, since we know that this first fret is the F, this is an F chord. Okay? If this is E, and this is E minor, that makes this F, because I'm on the F note, that makes this an F major. If I get rid of my 2, that's an F minor. Same idea. E, E minor, F, F minor. F sharp minor. G, G minor. G sharp minor. All the way up and down the neck, okay? So because you have an E and an E minor, you can play that all the way up the neck, okay? That's one bar chord. The other bar chord are all minors. Please remember what we're talking about are major bar chords. That being said, major and minor bar chords. That being said, now I'm going to take my F chord and bring it down to the A string. That now means my guitar is going to be, my one finger is going to be on the A string, barring all 5 strings. My 3 finger is going to be on the D, on the 3rd fret. My 4th finger is going to be on the G, 4th fret, and my 2 finger is going to be on the B, 2nd fret. So now, I'm not playing the E string, I'm now here, okay? So think about it, that's A sharp is where my first finger is. So now what do we have? An A sharp something, okay? So now we started off with an E and an E minor. Another way to play, another chord that's similar to this is the A minor, okay? That's an A minor. If you took off your 2 finger, it's a different chord completely and it's off topic. So we're gonna get to that later. But for now, that's a minor. So what does that mean? That means anywhere I place my fingers, it's gonna be a minor. So A minor, A sharp minor since I'm on the 1st fret, B minor, C sharp minor, D minor, D sharp minor, E minor, F sharp minor, G, all the way up and down the neck, okay? This is why it's hugely important to know your notes. So F major, A sharp minor, F sharp major, B minor, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, that's a lot so far. Now let's talk about the power chord, okay? The power chord really is just using 2 fingers, okay? So we're gonna work on just the simplest power chord there is. I'm gonna put my 1 finger and I'm gonna have it over on the 7th fret. So my 1 finger, the most important part, is gonna be the 7th fret, the 7th note on the E string. Then I'm gonna take my 3rd finger and I'm gonna place it over here on the 9th fret on the A string, D string, and G string. So finger 1 is on E, finger 3 is on A, D, and G. Here's a really cool, interesting thing about power chords is you don't have to play perfectly. If while strumming this chord, you only hit the E, A, and D strings, that's fine. If you hit the G, great. So, that's how it should sound. If you don't have it sounding like that, one of the reasons why is because your thumb is not in the middle of the neck and it's not also in front of your middle finger. That's going to help you push and pull with a good balance to help you play the chord correctly. So, once you got that figured out, remember, you can play this chord anywhere on the guitar neck. Kind of cool. Okay? Anywhere on the guitar neck. Okay? So now you have open chords, bar chords, and power chords. Why is that important? Because if you know your notes, you can now play really majority of the songs anywhere on the guitar. Anywhere. Let me talk about why. Remember, we were talking about Dead Flowers. D. Okay, pretty simple. Now, let's talk about doing that in a bar chord. So, F, G, A, B, C, C sharp, D. Okay, so the 10th fret, that's D, right? Obviously. D. Now, if I remember correctly, A was the 5th fret, G was the 3rd fret. So now I can play my bar chord, if you can see that correctly. I can play my bar chord up here to the A, G, back to the D. Okay, so now I have 2 ways of playing it. Open chords and a bar chord. But what about the power chords? Great question. Let's get into it. Now, bar chord or power chords. What do I always say? I want to play the song the simplest way possible. Now, I know A is the 2nd string. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D. That's the 1st chord. So if I play a power chord, there it is. A string, 5th fret, that's the D chord. Now, what about the A? Obviously, I can play it right here, because that's A, but I want to stay away from that. What about the E string? E, F, G, A. So if I go, okay, what about G? Well, I know this is G, so that's the song. So here's what it looks like. Because I know the notes, here's what it sounds like. Pretty cool. Now you have so many ways of playing the song. Why is this important? You're going to your buddy's house. They know that you play guitar. They're going to say to you, hey man, I want to play this song with you. Okay. Oh, awesome. Great. What are the chords? Oh, they're going to be A sharp, C sharp, and oh gosh, what else? And E, B, C. So why is this important? Great question. So here's a scenario. You're going someplace, you're hanging out with some friends, or you're going to be jamming with some people at a little get-together. They're going to say, hey, Chris, you play guitar. Awesome. Play guitar with us. Oh, great. Let's know the chords. What are the chords? Oh, no problem. They're F sharp, G sharp, and A sharp. Cool. I know what those are. So if it's a rock and roll or a punk band, here's F sharp, here's G sharp, here's A sharp. There it is. Oh, we're playing it like the Eagles. Great, here you go. That's it. Because I know the notes, I know what chords to play. Now, obviously, this isn't going to work for every chord. For instance, the B7. There might be a way of doing it, but this is a beginner video. And, I'm not going to cover that. All right, so that's it. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. All right, so let's talk about proper placement, finger placement for a bar chord. Okay. All right, so let's talk about proper placement, finger placement for a bar chord. Okay, so I'm going to choose the B major bar chord. So remember, you can't play a major down on the A string, so everything's got to be up here, okay, on the E string. So I'm going to put my one finger, the tip of my one finger, on the E string 7th fret, and then I'm going to hold my fingers down across all 6. Then I'm going to put my 2 finger on the G string, 8th fret. Then I'm going to put my 3rd finger on the 9th fret, A string, and my 4th finger on the D string, 9th fret. So now I got my 1 finger in there, it's inside the metal fret strips. I got my 2 finger there, it's inside the metal fret strips. And I got my 2 fingers there, it's inside the metal fret strips. Now, it's all about equal pressure. If I bring the guitar over, you can see that the thumb is basically, again, right in the middle of the guitar neck, this way, but also right in front of my middle finger, okay? You should be set. Now, just strum it. Don't beat it up, just nice, gentle, okay? Now, what I'd like you to do, okay, is to check your work. You're always going to hear me say, check your work. Checking your work means you're doing 1 string at a time. Okay? The reason why we do that is this, for instance. So let's say this is how you play your, let's say this is how you play your B major bar chord. Okay, that's obviously wrong. I'm hearing some dead notes. So let's go through it. Let's check my work. Okay, I have to press this one down a lot harder. Okay, I'm good. Let's move on. Okay, I gotta press my 3rd finger down. Okay, my 4th finger is fine. Okay, but what about my 2nd finger? Okay, so my B string, that's not sounding very good. This is a very common thing. With the B string, what you want to do is make sure that your finger is super flat up against that fretboard. Okay? What some people do is they play their bar chord like this, where it's folded, where your hand is folded up behind the guitar neck. My suggestion is bring your hand out. Bring the back of your hand out a little bit more. When you do that, you open the 1 finger to where it goes across all 6 strings. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. But now that you have the properly positioned bar chord, you can play it anywhere. Okay. Now, let's talk about holding your guitar pick. Again, kind of what I said is I hold my finger like this, and I put my thumb over it, and I make sure that the pointy end of my guitar pick points at the guitar.